I'm Christina, 66.
Sitting in this cozy coffee shop, I'm looking at my daughter Lily across the table. Her once, well, groomed appearance is now a mess. Dark circles under her eyes, and her expensive clothes look wrinkled. She's been trying to convince me to change my will, but I'm firm in my decision. It all started at a family lunch. Lily, my only daughter, and her husband Ethan were sitting with me. The atmosphere was tense, like a storm was about to break. Lily barely looked at me, complaining about the undercooked potatoes. I offered to heat them up, but she snapped at me. Ethan, usually quiet, just stared at his plate. Lily then announced that I had to find another place to live. She said I was a burden, constantly needing help and taking up space. It was a shock because this was my house, the one I'd lived in for 30 years. But she reminded me that after my husband David died, I'd signed the house over to her for what I thought were good reasons. David had passed away when Lily was 12. I worked 2, sometimes 3 jobs during holidays to give her everything. I sold my jewelry to buy her first car and skipped meals when money was tight. But now, she was throwing me out. She started pulling my clothes out of the closet and tossing them onto the front lawn. Neighbors stared as she shouted cruel words at me. I felt like garbage, being thrown out at 66. Ethan seemed conflicted, but didn't stop her. My friend Sarah took me in that night and helped me find a small apartment in a senior living complex. I was heartbroken, crying myself to sleep for days, wondering where I'd gone wrong as a mother. But then, Sarah reminded me of something. David had always been a forward thinker. Before he died, he made me promise not to tell Lily about a 5-acre land outside of town that he'd inherited from his grandfather. At first, it seemed worthless, but as the city expanded, its value skyrocketed to over $2 million. I decided it was time to take control. I visited my lawyer, Mr. Brown, who had been David's friend. I told him I wanted to change my will. Most of the estate would go to charitable causes for elderly people abandoned by their families. A small part would go to my grandson Max's education fund, and Lily would get a modest amount with conditions. After I sent Lily a copy of the amended will, she suddenly changed her tune. She invited me to dinner, setting up a fancy table with candles and my favorite pot roast. But I saw through her act. When I mentioned her credit card debt and her plan to take out a home equity loan, her facade crumbled. Ethan later called me, telling me that things had been difficult between them since the dinner. Lily had been hiding debts and even took money from Max's college fund. She was planning to contest my will, claiming I was mentally incompetent. When Lily met me at the coffee shop, she tried to manipulate me again. But I was prepared. I told her I knew about her plans, and I had evidence to prove my mental competence. She was furious, but I stood my ground. Now, as I sit here, I know I've made the right decisions. Max has become a bright spot in my life. He comes to my apartment often, and our relationship has grown stronger. Ethan has also been an ally, filing for divorce from Lily. 6 months have passed since that terrible day. I've enrolled in a literature course at the community college, met a wonderful man named Robert through Sarah, and established a senior advocacy foundation. My life has been rebuilt, and I'm no longer the woman who is thrown out in despair. I'm ready to face whatever comes next, whether it's reconciliation with Lily or not. I've found my strength, and I'm looking forward to the future. I'm curious about you who listen to my story. What would you do if you were in my place? Have you ever been through something similar?
Comment below.
And meanwhile, I'm leaving on the final screen 2 other stories that are channel favorites, and they will definitely surprise you. Thank you for watching until the end.